everyone, it's Carly and welcome here back to my channel and welcome to my February TBR video. I am so excited to share with you guys the books that I plan on reading this month. So if you like this video, definitely give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you're new. I would love to have you stick around for the next video and let's hop right in. So if you guys watched my January video, I mentioned there that my goal for this year is to read 48 books, which I'm planning on doing 4 books a month, but sometimes that doesn't really happen. So at the end of the year, I just want to make it to 48 no matter how I get there. I just want to do it. And I do want to mention that if you want to follow me on my Goodreads account, I will have it linked down below. It's a great place to track your reading, find great reviews, and also connect with other people. So I'll leave it down below so you can see what I've read in the past, what I rate books, what I'm currently reading, all of that. Now, diving into the books that I want to read, I have more than 4 for this month, just because some of the books are a little bit shorter and easier to get through, and I need to finish up some books that I started in January. So the first one that I plan to finish for this month is The Book Thief by Marcus Zuzak. Now, I have been having a tricky relationship with this book because I really have not been enjoying it as much as I thought that I would, and kind of have heard people love it and rave about it, and I'm just finding it so difficult to get through. So I'm on page 307 and there's about like 550 pages of this book. So I'm starting to read this in the mornings because I usually like to read at nighttime and in the morning, and in the morning I sort of dedicate my time to like a business book or self-help or something like that. So I figured while I don't have one of those on deck, I'll just start reading this. So this is what I'm trying to get through in the mornings, and hopefully I can do it by the end of this month. I don't see that being a problem, but the tricky thing is when you're not enjoying a book, it's difficult to finish it off, but everyone has been saying that I'm gonna love the ending, so I don't want to not finish it. So yeah, this is the first book that I hope to finish this month. The second book I plan on finishing is also another one that I've already started, but I've kind of picked up here and there, and that is People Powered by Jono Bacon, and this is how communities can supercharge your business, brand, and teams. So this is all about building communities online, which is a huge part of what I do, and something that I'm pretty fascinated with as well. So I'm almost finished with this one. There's like 278 pages and I am on 201. So I am gonna finish this up within the month pretty soon, and I've been enjoying it so far. And yeah, this is a nice contrast to all of the novels and fantasy books I read. So it's been nice to have more of like a business focused book. I love incorporating those into my reading goals every single year. So yeah, I'll be finishing this one up hopefully very soon. Okay, and now diving into the rest of the books for February, and I thought for this month, since it's Valentine's Day, there's a lot of like love in the air, I thought all of the books that I would read this month could be romance and love stories, so that's kind of what I based my choices off of. So the first one that I have here, which is what I'm currently reading right now, is Flower in the Wind by Dorothy Keddington, and this is a quick one. I have been really loving it. There are, let me see, 245 pages. So again, it's super easy to get through. It's been very interesting. I believe this might be, I don't think it's like YA specifically. It might be, because I can tell it's not, the pages aren't too like packed. It's a very like simple, easy read to get through, but I have really been enjoying it. So this follows our main character, Cassandra, who recently lost her grandfather, so she goes back to kind of like a childhood home for her out in Oregon on the beach, and one night she's taking this kind of impulse walk to clear her head. She kind of has a lot of decisions to make, a big wedding coming up, and she discovers this wrecked ship on the beach, and she runs into these 2 Russians who are on the run currently, and she tries to save them and help them and keep them safe. And during all of this, there's kind of this underlying romance floating about, so she decides you know, what she's gonna do with the rest of her life, and she's meeting these people that are changing her views on things, and it just becomes this kind of like intense thriller with these like 2 Russians on the run, but also this underlying romance as well. So like I said, it's pretty interesting, very easy to get through, and kind of like a unconventional love story, but I guess a love story nonetheless. The next book on my reading list is Looking for Alaska by John Green. Again, this is a book that I've had for a while and have never really picked up. I've heard a lot of people talk about it. And of course, John Green writes a lot of like fun, interesting, young love stories. So this one I'm excited to get into just kind of quickly off of the back. It's all about our main character, Miles, who transfers over to this boarding school, and then he meets Alaska Young. And I guess basically it's just kind of like a very, I don't know if it's like a toxic romance, but just kind of like a very destructive kind of situation. So I'm not really too sure what to expect from this, but I'm excited. Again, it's a quick read for me as well. I believe it is 221 pages, so hopefully I can get through this pretty quickly. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. I don't really have too many expectations, to be honest, but I've heard a lot of good things, and it'll be exciting to kind of read more of these YA love stories because they're fun and easy to dive into. And with the shorter month that we have in February, I thought it would be nice to kind of pick up these more fast-paced, quick, interesting novels. And so yeah, I'm looking forward to this one. So this next one here is The Light Between Oceans by M.L. Stedman. And this one is not so much like a love story between a couple. It's actually a married couple who her husband takes this job as like a lighthouse operator. I believe that's what it's called, a lighthouse keeper. And during their marriage, they've kind of had a rough start with starting a family. His wife, Isabel, has had a couple of miscarriages, and one night when he is on his shift, he sees and hears this baby crying out in the water, and they go to rescue the baby. And initially, Tom has like some worries about taking this baby as their own, but his wife Isabel insists that this baby is a gift from God and that they should keep this baby. They end up keeping her, naming her Lucy, and then when she's a couple years older, they return from where they're kind of stationed to more of like the mainland of town, and realizes that their choice has devastated one of them. So it sounds, again, more of like a very interesting kind of dynamic, following these people who just want to start a family, who are trying to figure out the best thing to do for this baby, and seeing how their choices play out in the future. So I'm not sure too much about this as well. A lot of these books are books that I just picked off of my bookshelf that I've had, and I'm excited to dive into. This one is 343 pages, so a little bit longer than the others, but I think I can get through it just fine within this month. And yeah, I'm excited to get this one started. If you guys have read any of these books that I'm chatting about, please leave your kind of short reviews of them down below. I would love to know if I'm going to enjoy it or how you thought about the book. I think it's really fun to kind of share our perspectives with all these books. And the last one that I picked up is Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen. So this one is, of course, a classic. I've never seen the movie. I've never read this book. To be honest, I've been very like intimidated to read this because last year I watched the movie Little Women, and then I went to go read it, and for some reason I just couldn't get into the book. I didn't love kind of that old-timey writing style and dialogue, so I've always been a little bit unsure and nervous about diving into a more like classic novel. But everybody I shared this on my TikTok a few weeks back, and everyone said that I need to give it a try and I would love it, and it's just such a fun and compelling love story. So I'm excited to dive into it. Basically, it is all about this girl, Elizabeth, who has 5 sisters, and she must marry rich, and she's introduced to this really like arrogant, cocky, wealthy man. You read through that courtship, and I guess it's really compelling and delightful and funny. So I'm excited to dive into this. I don't really have too many expectations. Like I said, I'm hoping that I can get through it because I did struggle a little bit with Little Women. Not that that's written by the same person or the same thing at all, but just that kind of old-timey dialogue is just really difficult for me. So I'm excited to challenge myself with this one and pick up a more classic novel. This one is 375 pages, so it's my longest one for this month, but I'm really looking forward to it. Hopefully I enjoy it as much as everybody else does. So those are all the books I plan to read this month. I'm excited to read more romance style novels, and a lot of these are very different from each other, which is exciting because I didn't want to have to read kind of the same storyline over and over. So hopefully I picked a good mix of all of them. Let me know your thoughts down below, and don't forget to give the video a huge thumbs up and subscribe if you're new. I would love to have you here for the next video, and I will see you guys right back here really soon. Bye!